Guys, if you want to support the podcast, you can subscribe to our Patreon. Over there, I do all the extra content, the extra SLY Guy podcast on a Monday. We got vlogs over there, car pods, a couple of new ones up there as well to check out, as well as getting early access to this podcast and anything pertaining to the SLY Guy podcast. All at patreon.com/SLY Guy. For as little as £2 a month, you can support the podcast to grow and to go in a direction that we want to be going. So get over to Patreon and support the podcast now. I appreciate it. I appreciate the Patreons that are already there, and I appreciate you future patrons coming on over. The SLY Guy podcast is brought to you in association with Visual Antics Apparel. All the SLY Guy podcast merch is available right now at visualanticsapparel.com. You can follow the link in the description of the video to get all the SLY Guy podcast merch. And on top of that, if you want 10% off, you can use the discount code SLYGuy10 at checkout. That's SLYGuy10 at checkout to get your SLY Guy podcast swag right now. We are brought to you in association with Modest Beer. Modest have been with us from the beginning. And like most things, journeys sometimes come to an end and they sometimes don't. Who knows what the future holds? But what I know is Modest Beer is a delicious beer. It always has and it always will be. And you can get your Modest Beer from a load of off licenses. You can get it in bars now. You can get it on their website, modestbeer.co.uk. And you can also check out all news and all things Modest at the website. And you want the wee discount code if you want to buy some merch or you want to buy some beer, use the code SLYPA15 at checkout now. We love Modest, and you will love Modest too, and they will love you in return, because that's how relationships work. Get the Modest Beer, follow the link, check it out now.
I'm the SLY Guy.
Guys, welcome to another episode of the SLY Guy podcast. This is a little bit of a different introduction I'm giving you today. It's something a little bit out of left field. For a start, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's listened to the podcast up until this point. It's been something I've enjoyed doing. I've had some great guests, I've some great moments, and I've loved the podcast. That being said, we're making a couple of changes. So this week's episode is going to be the last SLY Guy podcast for a few weeks until we make a couple of changes, look at things, freshen it up a little bit, and make the podcast have as much potential to grow as possible. So sometimes you got to look at things, whether that be the production quality, whether it be the look of the podcast, whether it be the guests, the actual host, what's going into things. We look at it. So we're going to take a bit of time off. I'm going to go away on holiday. I'm going to relax myself. We're going to look at things, and we're going to come back in a few weeks with a new approach. So as it is now, all things will remain the same. The channels will remain the same. So wherever you get your SLY Guy podcast, be that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, wherever it is you get it, YouTube. If you're there now and you're listening to this, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Be the first to see the next episode that comes out in a couple of weeks' time, and be able to follow and support the podcast as we hopefully take a next step in moving it forward. And what a nice way to put a stamp on what we've done so far with a debut guest on the episode, somebody who I've known off for a few years now, and somebody who I haven't actually fully properly met until a couple of months ago, and someone who I had a great rapport with. It was Emer Maguire. She's my guest today. She's really funny. She's really great crack, and somebody who is just on her way. So this will be a real fun episode. I hope you guys enjoy listening to it as much as I have enjoyed having the chat with Emer. And again, just want to say thank you, guys. Hit subscribe wherever you get the podcast, and keep an eye out for some changes a coming. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SLY Guy podcast. We're going to start just straight in. I'm just going to give off the bat. Emer does not know this work. If I had said to you it was a distant relative of mine, an ancestor, would you go with it?
Look at the very heavy brow. I would believe it.
I do have a heavy brow, don't I? Do you know?
It's quite cavemanish.
I got trolled by somebody for a while. No, because
Wasn't me.
they outlined it with my nose, and it makes the shape of a penis. So they did this bit, and they're like, and then down here, and the balls, and I was like, that does.
That's fair.
It looks like that. Yeah, so now I feel after a while, I felt like I was just going to have to walk around like this and be surprised, but then my natural resting face.
Sure.
I like
That's what you can say. That's a masculine feature.
this. I just thought it was like too much. My wife would be like, it's like, because it's cute like a Shar-Pei. I'm like,
Oh,
I mean, cute like a dog. I mean, is that something I should be buzzing about?
who is this guy?
He is Vigo, the Carpathian out of Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, I've not
Um,
seen any Ghostbusters.
Now, basically, the gist behind the story, because again, I know that more people. Why do people always torture me? I don't know what I've done. I'm a nice guy. But people came after me to be like, so apparently there was another podcast that had this in the background, and they're like, oh, it's copying. Niche. What actually happened was I got this many, many years ago as a decoration for my house because I really always liked it. To be fair, he terrified me. It terrified me, right? In Ghostbusters, he comes alive and comes out of the painting and steals children.
Oh, lovely.
So, and it was
Such a good person to admire.
yeah, but I don't admire him. I was scared of him. So I was facing my traumas by getting this and putting it up in my house. Then whenever Catherine moved in, she was like, he's got to go. But I did balance him out. So he used to be up in my living room and I had another canvas picture, but it was of Prince, the singer Prince. And he was naked.
How'd you clarify it? Isn't it
Yeah.
like Prince Andrew?
Yeah, I know. It's
The other Prince.
like a Vigo the Carpathian and Prince Andrew. And that's the two people I idolize. Yeah. So I had him and Prince, but Prince was like, he was naked in a tulip, I believe.
Lit.
So it was very opposite to that. So it was very light, very
Very light.
very colourful, very,
Exotic.
it was quite Prince. So he was R.I.P. an erotic individual, but this guy's not erotic. He's quite intimidating, really. So
Away from Lord of the Rings or something.
no, you know what? I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Don't waste your time. I hated it. No, I did see it as a child
Okay.
at the cinema and was bored out of my skull. So I obviously didn't understand it, because everybody loves it. But I can't bear to go back and watch it. It was the longest. It was so boring.
See, I tried to watch a bit of it and was like, it's boring, so I just didn't.
That's me. I find it really boring.
And do you have to like get clicked into something quickly, or are you? Because I'll be Catherine. Like if we try to watch a series, and if I see her on her phone within 5 minutes, I go, it's a waste.
Do you feel if she's on her phone?
A wee bit, like low key. It does.
Paying attention.
It does because I'm like, you're gonna not like this, but you need to give it a
You're not
chance.
paying attention.
Yeah, but if you just put it down, and then sometimes I don't want to be, because then you do think you're like, is this like controlling or coercive behavior? You don't want to be like
Not
that.
allowed a phone.
Yeah.
Might be.
So I remember there was a girl.
Well, she told you weren't allowed your picture.
Yeah, that's
I
maybe
gained her
swings for
upset, but she did say you weren't allowed your picture.
Yeah. You know what I'll do? I'll pop this up so as it can be. There you go, some cat.
I have a very quiet, delicate voice as well.
You do.
So I'll need to be
We
quiet.
also quite so.
We are both very. We could do that. Do that like ASMR nighttime stories.
So like that. What sort of nighttime stories would we go for?
We could say about the Carpathians, Emer Dave's ASMR.
Yeah, and Prince, the erotic tales of Prince. Is he? Noises.
You can make that noise too.
I don't know. I always loved the sweet noises, and they made no sense to me. But that's what sort of got me into Prince at the start. It's like those noises are funny. Then like the music's great.
And because he's unusual. I always liked him as well. What was it? Oh yeah, do I need to be interested in something from the start? Totally. Oh my god, I have zero attention whatsoever. So I have tried to watch. Like everybody will disagree with this. I have tried to watch Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
So have you watched it?
We might agree on this.
Oh my god, I've tried to watch Yellowstone so many times. Everyone keeps telling me it's the best TV show in the world. It's not, but they keep telling me it is.
Yeah.
I've watched the first episode maybe 5 times. I hate it. I can't get into it. It's so slow. It's so boring, and everyone keeps telling me it's amazing. And I'm like, I've tried. Like sometimes you don't give something a chance. I've given it a chance. I've watched it over and over. It is so boring.
You know what? I will support you on that.
Thank you. You're the first person ever.
I think I've got like 4 or 5 episodes in, and I'm like, I just don't feel it's going anywhere. Now, I always have an issue with certain people in shows, like the protagonist, if they are also arseholes.
You don't like
You
that?
know? Like if it's Peaky Blinders, they're like, oh, the Peaky Blinders are, no, they're dicks.
Yeah,
I can't
Peaky
like
Blinders.
I didn't like it either, and it's like another hype thing, and this is why a lot of the time, if something's really hyped and I watch it, I try to avoid it. Like Game of Thrones, I tried to avoid.
I've never seen Game of Thrones either.
But then I got trapped in my house one day because we had to live in an Airbnb for a bit. Technically, it was basically our kitchen caved in because there was a leak. So we had to go and live in this Airbnb, and Catherine was like big into Game of Thrones, and she was like, "This is like the penultimate episode. You can't ruin this for me. This precedes our relationship. Like I'd be watching Game of Thrones for longer.
It means more to her than you."
And she's like, and this is nearly the time this ends. So if you ruin this for me, we end. And I was like, all right, I'll just go into the room here. So I just went into the room because it was like Airbnb like it was a converted barn above a garage, so it was just really all. So I was just sitting in the room like, and I could just hear all this fighting and noise and
Yeah.
carnage. And I like a child, I just peeped my head out the door. So like, what's happening? Shh, don't. I was like, I
Like
know.
when your mum and daddy was
What's-
watching something you weren't allowed to watch it.
And I came and I sort of sat down, and then I did that all like, so what's happening here? And this is, and I was like, wow, this is wild.
And who's that? And who's he? And
And
she?
I got so into it, and then I
Really?
just started and went into it, and it was, and then that was another thing that she was like, she was just, she's like, there's a lot of nudity in it. I was
You're like,
oh,
what a pity.
oh, I hate it.
I'll force myself to watch it.
So yeah, I loved that. But Yellowstone, we actually just stopped watching it because it got a bit boring.
I just think it started off boring. But see, anything that's kind of set, I know Yellowstone's not really back in time, but see anything that's set in like a more old-fashioned like vibe, it's the same as Game of Thrones because I assume it's back in time. I don't know.
Yes.
I hate anything like that. I mean, I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just turns me off instantly and I cannot pay attention to it. I'm so bored. But yeah, everyone that I've said to, you're the first person who's ever agreed with me about Yellowstone.
Yeah, and it's been one of those ones that you feel almost slightly icky in saying, but you're like, oh,
Yeah, because everyone's like, there's something wrong with you. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this show. It is so boring. And I like, what do you call your man?
Kevin
Kevin
Costner.
Costner.
Yeah,
I like him, alright.
don't even start me on him. He's one of my faves.
Is he? Well, I've never really seen him in it, but I liked him in it. And his daughter, the daughter in it,
Yeah.
I loved her. Like, I would have watched it just for her.
Yeah,
But, I mean, I couldn't watch however many series just for his daughter.
I just couldn't get over the fact that like grown men were allowing other grown men to like brand them. I'm like, don't.
I just thought it was
don't do that.
so stupid.
Yeah.
There was, you'll not agree with this one because nobody ever does, but I really could not get into Breaking Bad either. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think it was the special TV show that everyone says it was.
No, I have a different view on that. I didn't watch it for ages and ages, but then when my first daughter Holly was born, I got up with her every morning at like 4 o'clock to feed her, and I
Was she
watched
watching Breaking Bad?
So I got up with her, and the two of us watched Breaking Bad together. So that's like a nice thing for me to remind
It's a
me.
nice nostalgic thing.
Yeah, and like it was whenever like they put a body into like a bath in one of the first couple episodes, and they put all this acid in it, and it just dissolved through the floor. I went, yes, it's kind of cool.
And was she like,
I'll
wow?
watch this. She was just like, goo, yeah, this is us. So maybe there is some sort of like weird trauma in her listening to that.
I would say there probably is. Every time you go to put her in the bath, she's like,
Yeah,
she's afraid.
especially in our bath. We didn't have a bath for ages, but now we have one and it's upstairs, so that could happen.
That could happen.
Fall into my kitchen.
I just think people say best TV show of all time. I'm like, it was okay,
Yeah.
but like, have you seen Ozark?
Is that what you think the best TV show of all time is?
Ozark is obviously Jason Bateman is I
Yeah.
think he's the writer and he stars in it. Like, he's a comedian. Well, he's a comedy actor, but in Ozark he is. Oh, it's incredible. And
See-
it is not boring. It
Mhm.
is constant. All these different storylines, new characters every episode. It is brilliant.
And is it dramatic or comedic, or is it a bit of both?
Oh no, it's dramatic.
Yeah.
It's not comedic at all, but it's dark. Like,
Mhm.
basically, he's embezzling. He's money laundering. Sorry, for like the Mexican cartel. And he has to move his family to the Ozarks to launder more. And it's really dark and everyone's dying and blah blah blah. It is fantastic, but it has a lot more action than those other ones. Like, I don't want to watch boys going around on horses.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Not
See, I
for
don't
me.
like horses either.
No, I like the horses. Don't like the boys.
Yeah.
Don't want to watch them.
And I didn't get how like they were just out to kill each other in different like police forces, named like the reservation police and all. I'm like, guys,
I didn't get that either.
it was a bit much.
Maybe I was too stupid for it.
Maybe.
Everybody would be like, yes.
But you know what? But then what I find is, and this could be controversial and don't offend anybody, but I find that certain people who get really into things and like a load of like across the board people, and this is amazing, they are all a little bit stupid. Like, people love Peaky Blinders. I find
Well, I've never
yes.
even seen Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think maybe that is sly to say, but I don't care.
Well, that's a
It is.
name of
But,
the game.
so what are, like, if you were to say, right, ballpark top 5 or 5 shows that you like, this is Emer Maguire's, and you can throw, and I am thinking more drama. You can throw comedy in there too.
I
if
don't
you
like
want.
comedy.
You don't?
Ironically.
No, I like it. Yeah.
I don't like it. So, like, I don't really watch that much TV because, like, when I say I have no attention, I mean I have zero. So unless something really grabs me, I'll not watch it. So Ozark is definitely number 1. Like, I can't even. Do you know what I mostly watch? Like a psychopath, true crime, murder stuff, documentaries. That's what I love. Or like, I watched that documentary last week about the Titan disaster, like stuff like
Yes.
that.
On Netflix.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, terrible it happened, but I love watching stuff like that. I can't even think. What other big drama TV shows have there been?
Blue Lights.
Oh, I love Blue Lights. It was this guy and it was brilliant. I actually did. I lived with my brother and my cousin at the time. And we used to all go down and watch it together. It was like a big thing every time it was out. So I love Blue Lights. It's probably the only kind of thing. I don't even mean from here, but even like I don't really watch a lot of English TV or UK TV. It's probably the only kind of domestic type thing that I've watched in a long time.
Have you ever tried Dexter?
No, and I think I would like it. I put on the first episode as a bit of a background thing once,
Mhm.
but I do think that I would like it.
Yeah.
I do. Like it's right up my street.
See, I think it's my very all-time favorite. Now,
Oh, maybe I'll watch it then.
it took the first probably series 1 and 2, and then maybe I think it was 4.
Mm.
Were the best ever. Like it was the one of the later series. They got the guy from, I can't remember his name, but he's like 30 Rock from the Sun, and he's like known as like a pretty comedic actor. He plays the most awful bastard.
Oh, really?
That's brilliant. And then the last sort of series, it gets a bit wick. The ending of the overall, it gets a bit wick. But they went back on and were like, that was so wick.
We'll do
So
it.
they did another series and it was brilliant. So now there's another series of that, and we're actually watching a prequel series now, which is great.
I'll maybe watch it because it sounds more up my street. Because
It's true crime as well.
I love anything
Crime.
that's kind of like crime, murdery, serial killery type stuff. I really really like because there's a lot of action in it. I love Scandal. Did you ever watch
I haven't
Scandal?
seen Scandal though.
Scandal.
I just love the Scandal.
I love the Scandal too, but Scandal is brilliant. So it's your woman who wrote Grey's Anatomy and How to Get Away with Murder. I like both of them too, but Scandal is absolutely brilliant. It's really good. But it's kind of really, do you know why sometimes some American TV shows, like for a few years, like in the mid 2010s, they had this really annoying thing where they would all like talk really fast paced and they were all, like, it's in that style. So I think it would irritate some people, but it's absolutely brilliant. But outside of Scandal and Ozark, I can't really, like, I'm watching Ozark again now. I can't really think of any other ones, and I don't really like any comedy. I do like Modern Family, just to have on in the background, and I had to watch Schitt's Creek series 1 a few times to get into it, and after that I loved it.
Yeah.
But like they're definitely an exception. Like I would never go on and look for even movies and stuff. I'd never really want to watch a comedy movie. You know, I just like kind of dark thriller, psychological. I love horror. I probably like movies more than TV shows. I love horror movies.
I feel like we could be best friends
I feel like
because
it's
I love a horror film.
Do you? What's your
love horror
favorite?
film.
Oh
My
my
favorite
There you
ever.
go.
Oh, I mean, this is going to be a bit hacky, but probably Halloween. Like it was the first one that got me
It's
like
very
into
good.
it. Like but then what I discovered was my Aunt Mary, rest in peace, was one of my favorite people ever. And she was like, you know, everyone has like an aunt that is a wee bit sort of like will do things that your parents don't want them to do, like tell you scary stories and do stuff like buy you sweets and they have to get you a present. Your parents like, what are you doing? The fun, like the fun.
Oh, no.
My Auntie Anne was very fun too, but then she had her own kids, and then kind of got relegated because she was like, well, now I've got my own, and like we can't, you know.
You don't.
Was on her own now. Like and Anne was like my young aunt too, so I'd have gone around to her house, and she would have been like early 20s, and like I'd have gone around and she'd just give me sweets and watch movies and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but my Aunt Mary, a bit older, she used to tell me this story, and I remember it was the first time I got like really in the story. She's like, do you ever hear the story of the man I think she didn't name him, but we'll just call him Michael for this. But just his man Michael, and he ended up killing his sister when he was little. They put him in a mental institution.
Were you like,
oh no,
oh my God, I want to be
I was like, no, what's Michael? And then she was like, yeah. And then one night Michael escaped. And I was like, oh no, where is he? No one knew where Michael was, but he came back his house, and then
It's just a plot of Halloween.
basically, yeah. And then the one thing that I remember sticking in my mind
Just-
was she was like, and Michael with his sister got a knitting needle and stabbed Michael in the neck. And I was like, oh, did I come out the other side? She went, yes.
Oh my God.
And that was one of my earliest memories of being like, oh. And then when I watched Halloween, I was like, this bitch has just ripped this up. What the hell?
You're like,
Yeah.
my Aunt Mary wrote this.
I know. I was like,
She's a
wow.
ghostwriter on this.
It's like, is this based on this?
Halloween is very good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really meet many people who like horror,
Mhm.
but I think it's so like, No, it actually makes you feel something. Do you know?
Yeah, I like to watch stuff, and it's a weird, but see when you're like anxious, no, like I love that in a drama when I'm like I can't cope, I don't know what to do. I love that, and horror's the same. And
I think that's the thing, because other things I'm bored. I'm like, I'm not feeling anything. I'm bored. Maybe it's just, but I don't know. Like there's this I've read loads of stuff to say that like autistic people. I have a diagnosis of autism, which you probably know that, but that say autistic people really like horror because it's controlled fear. Like, and you're afraid of so many things, but it's a controlled fear where you get to, sit down for a while and you know how you're going to feel and you know how you're going to react. And I thought like that was the coolest thing ever. And it's such an autism thing to be obsessed with horror.
see,
There's kids coming in who are obsessed with it.
yeah, I keep being told that that people are like, you have ADHD. I don't think so. And then like the amount of people, and then people with ADHD, and I end up getting into chats with them, and they're like, you probably should get tested. I'm like, it's fine. But
You're like, I'll get around
yeah,
to it.
I'll get once I get down to the bottom of the list of things I need to do now, then
I'll get around to it.
yeah. But like horror is just
That's brilliant. I love
and
Scream.
Scream. That was one of the first ones that I got to watch. It was
Me
great.
too. It's
Yeah.
such a class. See, I remember being at my cousin's birthday. She was having a sleepover, and we were in P7, and we were watching Scream. And I don't know how they organised this. You would not do this now because it would traumatise children. But in the middle of Scream, this huge figure came in, all in black and in the Scream mask with a knife into the room we were in. And it was carnage. Like, we thought Scream was there. It was my sister. It was my big sister, right? With an actual knife.
Oh wow.
I know. And then she killed us all. No, it was just like, it was so, everyone was like screaming all that. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God, that's great crack.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
brilliant. I was like,
Yeah.
jeez, I was bored. This is great. Do you know what I mean? And like, see stuff like that. And my sister then for years, like, we had obviously the Scream masks thing. 'Cause there was ages where everyone dressed up as it for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's like we wore the Scream masks and like a bin bag. And my sister would always like, I was terrified of the mask, but I kind of liked it, but I was kind of afraid. And like, she would always put the mask like on the back of the bedroom door or like in my bed so that when I, the Scream mask was there. And like, I don't know why, but now Scream is my favourite, but I think it maybe is a bit of a nostalgic thing.
But then you do get fascinated by stuff that really terrifies you
Like,
too.
really
Like,
dark
you get
stuff.
obsessed with it, yeah.
And like, I think Scream's funny. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you remember whenever the first one came out? Like, it was kind of a bit slapsticky at some
Yeah.
point, and even Courtney Cox being in it and being Gail Weathers and all this.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of a bit tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
But I watched that sort of, I think I was maybe sort of 13 at the time, and it was still like, you're watching it and you knew you shouldn't be because it's in 18, you're like, it's really bad, but also terrified.
But I just thought it was brilliant. And have you watched the Purge movies?
Yes. I
Love them.
enjoyed them. I
love them.
there was one recently, I liked the if we're talking newer ones, I liked, because usually I don't like the sort of, the it's not science fiction, but it's like, no, I like real horror so you can believe
Me
it
too.
happened.
I don't like supernatural because I'm like,
That's the word.
that would never happen. I'm not afraid. I don't like ones with ghosts because I don't believe them. So I think that couldn't happen. I like mental guys out who are serial killers who are on a spree because I'm like, I'm actually afraid because that could
Yeah.
happen. Those are the ones I like.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like,
Yeah, here we
is it
go.
real?
Because that's what happened when I watched Jeepers Creepers. I was really into it, and then he grew wings, and I was like, well, that's fucked it now for me.
I did love Jeepers Creepers. And remember we both were like, Jeepers
Oh, that's
Creepers.
really creepy
Where
tune.
to get those people? Yeah, it was very kind of like insidious, that wee song at the start. That's the kind of thing I like, where it's like unsettling.
Yeah.
And that's why I like The Purge, because they're wearing the masks and it's
Yeah.
kind of, they're not quite human, but they are. But it's I do like that.
Have you seen The Strangers? It's one of my favorite
No.
new ones. Yeah, it's just, you should watch it. I think
I will watch it. Anything horror recommendations, I'll always watch.
it's very good. And The Babadook was a new one that I saw. It was quite good.
So I didn't watch that because I thought it was for kids.
Yeah,
Is it for kids?
absolutely not. No.
So I don't know why I thought that. I thought it was for kids, like a monster under your bed or something, or it was like a kid's book. I don't know if it's just the name.
Yeah, it does sound like, I think it's based on like a kid's, like in the story of the film is like, it's this kid scared of this character, the Babadook, but then it's actually a real thing.
That's why I thought it was for
Yeah.
kids. Like whenever your parents used to tell you, oh, there's a man under the bed or there's a whatever. Do you know what I mean?
My parents had threatened to take me to Winnie Hill because there was a guy, apparently, now there used to be an advert back in the day. I cannot find this anywhere. I've tried to find it, but it was like for Tango or something, or some sort of fruit drink, but this little creepy little monster drank in his ear. So he took the stuff and he put it in his ear, and then they're like, he lives in Winnie Hill, and we're gonna take you and give you to him. And they've always
Were you terrified?
yeah. And then like when I was really bad, they did put me in the car and drive towards Winnie Hill, and I was like, that is
You would never do that now.
yeah.
You would never do that.
That being said, I did threaten to take Matilda to the police station the other day, and did get her as far as putting her over my shoulder to carry her downstairs into the
What
car.
did she do?
Nothing. She was told like it's a bedtime, you know, and like she's starting to get really like ballsy to fight
What
back.
age is she?
4.
Wee
It's-
witch.
But I'll be like, right, you're going to say, no, I won't. Matilda, you will. No, you. And I say, I will. You'll do nothing. I'm like, oh, well, I would take you to the
You're like,
police station.
you're going to Winnie Hill.
Yeah,
You see this guy? You're
Yeah.
going to Winnie Hill.
and that's why I was so annoyed and looking for that video to show her, to be like, this is the guy that lives there.
And she'd probably like
Yeah, I don't care. I'll bust him.
absolutely not afraid at
Yeah.
all.
But
our
they're
parents
nice.
were so much stricter. Like, you know, whenever we were wee, like
Yeah.
it was different, which is what our parents also said. They were like, you know, whenever we were wee, we wouldn't got away with that, but it is the same now.
But so true. Like whenever, like I remember, I was struck. You know, if I was bad, I got my bum smacked.
I thought
It
you
was like,
like lightning.
yeah,
I was like,
like when I was bad, a lot. Yeah, no, just with fists. But like very rarely now. My memory, I believe I was whooped. But my mum and dad were like, you keep telling people. We would very rarely smack you. My mum was like, I smacked you once because you raised your fists at me. And I was like, I think I was 8, and also I was doing it to defend myself from your blows. But you know, I don't think it was that.
but even if that's once, the child's gonna remember that because that's traumatic.
Yeah, my mum was like, my mum was the mental torture. You know, she would be the threat of stuff. Whereas my dad, looking back, it was always like, right, okay, what do you want me to do? And then it was always chase him. And usually the chase would be enough. I would run down the room and be like, never come out. But I think like a couple of times my dad might have, like, but he would always pull it. Like it was like wrestling hits he would hit me with. Like he would smack me, I think, to be like, I've done it for my mum to see.
Here, is she looking?
Yeah, and then it'd be like, and it wouldn't be that sore. And a bit of me, I'm like, oh, you're a bit of a fucking
Yeah.
wuss. No, and I'll get this any day. Yeah, it's like, hit me harder, daddy. I got but
That's where that phrase came from. Was it you?
but yeah, like I remember my mum would have been like, she would have always been like keeping up appearances. You know, so if I was being really like, she go,
That's a must prerogative.
but like if I would embarrass her when I was out, and you know, the embarrassment's the worst feeling in the world, especially like as a comedian when you're on stage and getting nothing, you're like, I'm embarrassed, I want to go home. But
But you can't.
you
You
can't.
have to
You
keep going.
just
You
go.
have to double down.
Sometimes it's hard. But I remember if I was playing up in like Tesco's or something, mum would be like, shut up, and I'd be like, no. And then he'd nip me, you know, in the wee bits of fat at the back of the arms. And then I'd be like, you nip me, you know. And she was like, when I get you home, I'll instruct your dad to beat you softly. Yeah, I'm like, oh, sorry.
Gently,
Like,
gently.
you can't even threaten kids with violence anymore.
No way.
Yeah.
But I think it's so weird though, because like, I cannot imagine saying to a child, like, look at this now, and you're bigger than me. Like, I can't imagine saying to a little child, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be different if they were a giant or
Yeah.
something. But would you not feel very strange hitting the child?
Yeah, like you feel
Because they're the wee defenseless wee baby.
you feel bad even shouting at them sometimes.
Yeah.
And like I know with Matilda, like there's sometimes when she gets in a wee like tizzy, there's no way to stop it, and you have to just go away and then come back and be like, what's wrong with you? Do you need a hug?
Want some gentle parenting?
You know, yeah.
The fuck?
But sometimes it's so hard when you're stressed out with stuff and you're doing it and
Do you
then
have 2
you're stressed with
kids?
this, yeah.
Oh, that is.
7 and 4. But now the 7-year-old is, but she's also a bit of a dick too. Like she does wee things, but it's like, it's hilarious now because when Matilda's bad,
Yeah.
Holly will come along and be like, is there anything I can do to help, Daddy?
Oh, the wee lick.
Like she'll be the wee lick, and it's so funny because we see it.
That's such an eldest child thing. That is such. Oh my god. See, my sister would have been like that too.
Oh, jeez. Like,
you know.
you know, Home Alone.
Uh-huh.
It's like Buzz and Kevin. That's what the two of them are like, and that's what I was like with my sister. I was the
That's
eldest.
cute though. Is there just 2 of you?
Yeah, me and my sister. But I was very much like, she was like Kevin and I was Buzz. Like, I
Yeah.
would go in and be like, listen, Mum, I'm not telling her, but I do think she
Yeah.
may be drawn on the walls, and I don't know if that's cool if you
Oh,
allow
it's
do
the
that.
worst type of child.
Like, I don't know if you allow her to do it. Like, if you have allowed her, that's cool. Like, I respect that. But I'm just saying, if you don't allow her to draw new wallpaper,
That's the kind of child that I'm just like, ugh, ugh, no respect for that. That's so, like a child who's a wee tout.
yeah.
There's nothing worse.
No, but I love touting my sister.
Are you older or younger?
Yeah, older. Yeah.
It's always the older. The older ones are always very sensible. I'm the second oldest, but like my sister always would have been so good and so well behaved, but it would have been the same. It would have been, you know, and not telling tales or anything, but
Uh-huh.
you know,
Like I asked Holly the other day, she had been to my mum and dad's, the two of them, they picked them up after school, and I was driving them back in the car, and I said to Holly, how was it today? And she goes, yeah, it was good, we had a good time. And I was like, how'd you behave? She says, yeah, it was good. And I said, how's Matilda? And she went, well, do you want me to tell the truth or do you want me to lie? And I went, tell me the truth. And she went, a bit bad, a bit bad.
she's so mature because she's 7. She's only 4, so she's practically an adult. You know,
Yeah.
compared to her, like she is so old and so wise and everything, and she probably just thinks like,
She loves that.
I know, but I think you would love that if you were the eldest kid, because like, see if you're a kid, a year of a difference, you feel like
Yeah.
you're with a baby, but if you're 7 and somebody's 4, you're like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, she's very like that anyway.
Oh yeah,
Very like that. She loves
there's
to.
Catherine like that.
No, like Catherine
just
does
an
and be
eldest
like,
child
but
thing.
then she'll say like if something's like very Elliott, and I'd be like, well, we kids be my whole entire family, so she's being Elliott now, complaining and telling tales. I'm like, well, what? Stop it.
The Elliott's famous for being twins.
I know clearly, but she is, and she's a good like Holly, and then sometimes you forget she's only wee too, because
Yeah,
and then there's days like you leave her in the school and she's maybe feeling a wee bit like like she's lacking a bit of confidence or a bit anxious about going into school, and you just have to like crouch down. Is everything all right? No, just feel a bit. And I'm like, that's okay. You can feel like that sometimes.
like, do you know what's well sad? Like you're saying, like she's only wee too. It's like if as soon as you have a younger sibling, you're not the baby.
Yeah.
Like my wee niece and nephew, my wee niece is only 2.5, and like he's nearly 1. But like as soon as he comes along, she's not the baby, and you expect so much more out of them.
Oh, it's
Like you expect, oh, help me with this, help me with that. But like they're just a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you didn't have a wee sibling, they would be the baby forever. So there's kind of, I think they do get a bit of a hard touch.
Yeah, and then even like when we look back at old photos, like when we were on holidays a few years ago, and like Holly was Matilda's age now, and we're like, we thought she was such a big girl, and she's there, doesn't like Holly was always quite bald. Like Matilda was born, like she had full jet black head of hair.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, wow, and she's just always had long hair and a perm basically. But Holly was quite bald up until she was, and then like you're looking at going like, look at her, she's only a wee dope. And then we were probably having her going to get the nappy bag and all,
Change your sister there.
Yeah.
Up and get us drinks at the bar.
But yeah, the two of them, that's the only thing. Like they are a bit like they just wind each other up. It's just antagonistic. The two of them have little wee things. Like,
Yeah.
Matilda would be annoying as a little sister, definitely, but also Holly has no patience. So that combined.
But all younger siblings are annoying, and all older siblings are sensible, in my experience anyway. Like there's 4 of us, and like it blows my mind how, if you have the same parents, how 2 people make 4 completely different people. Like the 4 of us are so well. Me and one of my brothers are probably the same person, in some ways. But apart from that, like we are 4 opposites. And we all went 2 months ago. We were like, me and my brothers were going to go to Amsterdam, and we were like, oh, our sister won't come. She's 2 wee kids, and she's like really responsible. She'll not come with us. And I was like, but we'll say anyway. And then straight away she says yes, and I was like, happy days. This is brilliant. And like we're all within like, there's 7 years between my biggest sister and my youngest brother, so we're all in like quite a tight age range. And like we went to Amsterdam, and I said in our sibling group chat, I have loads of tattoos under here, and my brothers, I brought them both for the first tattoos, and my sister doesn't have any. Like she is like quiet and sensible and all that. And I says, anybody fancy getting sibling tattoos? Thinking it'll probably be me and one of my brothers. My sister was like, yeah. So the 4 of us were in Amsterdam getting tattoos, like having a ball. And I was just thinking, we are so lucky, because we all wouldn't be friends, because we wouldn't be in the same situations if we weren't siblings.
Yeah.
But we're all really close, even though we're so different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always think it's nice, but you do take on like those roles. Like no matter what, my sister will always be the responsible eldest one, and like my youngest brother will always be, the
Bollocks.
yeah, the youngest, who kind of is like more opinionated, and then us 2 are kind of the middle children. Like you totally fall into the stereotypes.
Yeah.
So I can imagine,
Yeah.
I can imagine what they're like.
But then it's like you say, the difference, like as being a child, like I was baffled to be like how come we don't have the same interests? Like I had some mates who like, there's ones who have 3 brothers, and then I was like, oh, they always look so fun. They're just always wrestling. playing football and all, and then I have this sister that's into like girl things and Barbies and all, and I'm kind of just wanting to, you know, and we would like, and my sister is very like, she's an accountant, so she's very like,
Exciting.
but she loves all that. She loves it, and she's very
She's very
more serious.
methodical and
Yeah.
very, yeah.
Very methodical. And then obviously and like with money, she's fantastic. But she owns her own house outright and all, and she's 32, I think. 34, actually 34, sorry, I got her age wrong. But she would be like looking at me, who's a complete shambles in that regard, you know, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know how."
And like you're a comedian, she's an accountant.
Yeah, I know, it's like such
That's
a weird,
polar opposites, like.
but and in that thing, then you flip that and become a parent, you forget that. So
Yeah.
then you think you've done it with one child, and the next one will be exactly the same. And then when you have this like free radical doing whatever it wants, you're like, I don't know, this is not in our manual of what the first one was like, you know, and it's
Oh, you're never the
hard
same.
to-
Like four of us couldn't be any more different in lots of ways. Like, and like it's 2 boys and 2 girls. So you'd think, right, well, the 2 girls are like the 2 boys, but like we're not. Like my eldest sister, and my younger brother are more like, and then me and my middle brother are more like, and then me and my youngest brother are gay, and then the other 2 are straight. Like we're kind of all these different flavors, for want of a better word, like all these different versions. And I just like, how do my parents make the 4 of it? Like we're
Yeah.
so different, like, but it is interesting.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
That also, if you were all exactly the same, it'd be a bit boring too, wouldn't it?
I know.
know, but-
I like that we're all different.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit
Do you know
entertaining.
what? It's also nice that these are all close. Do you know?
Yeah,
So
we are
I-
close. We are close. So my straight siblings, as we call them, live in Strabane, and they live in the same street as each other. And they
STRAIGHT Coincidence?
I don't think so.
No.
There's something going on there.
And where do you and your
Conspiracy
youngest
theories.
brother live?
Me and my youngest brother, the gay contingency, live in Belfast, but we
I was going to say Galway. No, it doesn't.
close,
Yeah.
or I was going to say Lebanon, but
It's certainly not these days. Yikes. Lebanon. Up there.
not ever. We bought 2 houses next door to each other in Belfast. So we have the gay quarter
Nice.
here, which is nice.
Great, yeah.
So whenever the streets like a little break from their boring straight line thing, come up to the gay quarter. But like loads of people always say to me, "Oh my god, I could never live next door to my brother." I mean, my brother probably thinks that about me, but I think it's really nice. And like when our family come up, it's so handy because with 2 houses, like our houses are literally 2 semi-detached houses, like they're attached.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because see, when we were away, I don't know if you did this or if we were just weird and sad and had nothing to do in Strabane, but we used to literally, like, my 2 brothers were in one room, me and my sister were in the other, and like we used to knock the walls to each other at night. Like that's how sad we were. We had nothing to do. But like my brother's bedroom now is like his bedroom in this house is here, mine is here.
Huh.
And like sometimes I'll just knock the walls, and I'm like, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually quite nice.
Well, would you not think getting a door in?
Well, do you know what, Dave? I have petitioned for this strongly since we both moved in. A flat out no from him, but I'm like, at the very least, could we not get a hole in the fence? Like,
Yeah.
because then we'd have one massive back garden. But I have 2 dogs.
Yes.
He doesn't want them in his house, in his garden, which is fair enough, I guess. But
What a wee gate then? Just a wee, like, you know, it's classic, like, you know, the 2 double doors gates.
Yeah.
You just have that to
and like
chat and-
we were always in and out of each other's gardens anyway. And also, we were talking about this last night. I was saying, if you died, I get this house, and he was like, no. And I was like, but could you sort that out? Because I could just like break all the walls through
have a mansion.
and have one big house.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite a mansion, probably just a normal size house. But
But you should say to them, you should make a deal. Well, there's the start of your new sitcom.
mhm.
You have a deal, and then it turns out like you want to bump each other off to try to get this
That's a
mansion.
good idea. And our dad's a funeral director, so there would be a little bit of, a little bit of the funeral industry in there.
Yeah,
really.
see, that'd be.
See, we're very morbid about death because of my
Yeah.
dad's job.
I'm sure.
So, oh, we are. Sorry, I don't know if morbid's the right word. Pragmatic is probably the word. I know, because I was just like, so if you died, I get this. Because I'm pretty sure you get my house. And he was like, no, and I was like, but I want to make one big house. So yeah, he's not interested. But I am trying to petition for at least taking a few slats out of the fence at the back.
I just think you do it one day if he's on holiday or something. Just do it. Be like, I've done a surprise for you.
He'll
And then be like-
turn into Red Ross.
And I'd be like, excuse me, are you being ungrateful? Like, I did this for you. Like, what are you doing?
Gaslight him.
Yeah, totally.
Gaslight him into appreciating it.
What?
He'll come home and there'll be 2 big dogs in his back
Like,
garden.
and he opens his door and the dogs are in the house. And be like, how did the dogs get in the house? And be like, well, what I have done is made one big lounge. And you'd be like, why have you done that?
He's like, where's my fireplace?
Your fireplace? Oh, Imagine put it like a tube slide in the fireplace.
Oh my god. I don't know if I'd fit. He would though. That'd be great. I would love that.
Yeah.
I listened to this true crime thing recently. It's terrible. It's totally at a tangent, but this girl went in to get something, like there was something stuck in her chimney or fireplace or something, and she went in to get it, and then she died suffocated, and then wasn't found for about 3 months. That'd be me. I'd be stuck in the slide. I'd try and get the tube slide, and I'd be crushed.
I hate all that sort of stuff. Like, see, getting trapped, it's the worst. See, when you see these weirdos that do like
The
caving,
cave. Oh my god. Have you seen that picture of that guy?
yes, then they just left them there and put stones on top to be like, rest of the
What was he supposed to do?
pneumatic drill, get him out.
I think that would kill him.
Well, I
Or
mean,
crush him.
but he,
So if it broke it all down and it all collapsed, sure it would crush him. I couldn't do.
I
wouldn't
get it.
like.
I see any of that, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
What's wrong in your head that you would do that? Because it's not even like there's no safe. You don't even know where you're going. Like that guy, that's the one where he was like this.
Yeah.
And then there was no pulling him back up,
Ugh.
and I saw, like, why would you do it?
No, I hate it. I hate it. The whole thought of it's just,
I'd just be like, no, I don't fit.
yeah,
I'm not gonna. I'm too fat. I
yeah.
can't do it. I'm
I-
not afraid or anything. Just
But
fat.
I would just say I am afraid, and also I like, you know what, I think if you do anything that really vastly increases the percentage chance that you will die, I want to avoid it.
Why would you?
You know, like, it's
do you
just-
do anything that's kind of extreme?
No, I'm the most boring health and safety conscious person you will meet. Like,
Are you?
I hate heights. I'm terrified of heights.
Scared of heights too.
Hate it. I hate rides, like big fairground rides.
Yeah.
Because I went on one once and the guy didn't put the bar down properly.
Oh,
And like I was like, this isn't down right properly. And he was like, and I was like,
people
no.
have died from those.
And I was like, yeah,
Slip
so
right out.
I don't go to them anymore. Like I'll
No,
go,
I don't like those either.
like I'll go on if it's like Disney or somewhere.
Worthless
And I'm like,
chickens.
but yeah. And then I go, you know what? Why? I get joy enough in life that I don't need to do that extreme stuff. And then there's the guy, the wingsuit guy. See him this week?
Oh,
There's a guy in a Scottish wingsuit, Red Bull, athlete. It's like one of the most well-known wingsuit divers, and he crashed into a mountain in Switzerland and died. Like, see wingsuits?
I think if you do one of those sports, you must surely accept that you're going to die doing the sport. Like, I think that has to be in your head. So if I was going to do that, or if I was going to do cliff diving, whatever, any of that, I think that I would have to have accepted that I am going to die doing this sport. Or even if you were going to do you watch the documentary about the diving?
Is that the one where they
It's on
have big,
Netflix.
the size of long rope and all, and they
Yeah.
go super deep? I haven't watched it, but
It's
I've seen
good.
it.
But like, they all come up half the time they're unconscious. I'm like, why would you do that? If you don't die, you're going to get a massive brain injury.
You see, that's like that Trident thing as well. The pressure just down
Oh my
super
god.
loop is just,
Oh my god, that was, you need to watch that. Like, it was so awful. So like, see, right, in it, they're putting these people into a submarine.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, all right, and I know a submarine. But then they get this pneumatic drill and they put these bolts in and they bolt them into it.
Mhm.
There's not like a wee hatch you can open. Like, they are bolted in. Like, what is wrong with them?
so they have to, is the plan to like cut them out when they get to the top again? Like a,
So whenever they come to the top, they must undo all of these bolts. But imagine you're sitting and it's tiny, like you're sitting in this wee tiny like Ford cab basically, and you start getting bolted in. Would you not be like, I'm why sorry,
yeah.
I'm actually just, I have to go to the bathroom and then never
Yeah.
come back.
I'd say, see when they like, I like a door. I like the known escape route anywhere.
Uh,
You know.
Well, no, they are literally bolted in, and I think if you're sitting in something and you're like, the only way that this can possibly maintain my life and not crush me to death is as if I'm extremely bolted in
Mm.
with steel, and I would be like, no thanks.
Yeah.
And those guys brought their kids. The
Yeah.
ones who died brought their kids on it.
Yeah. And
Why would you do that?
no, it's I think it's just very.
You need to watch it. And the guy who was doing it was very confident, but I think confidently delusional.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I don't get is whenever it combusts,
Mm-hmm.
like what actually happens? Like what does they just all like explode, or is
Go
it just
splat.
do they crush it? Does it cave in? How does it
So
happen?
I think it literally caves in, goes splat, everybody goes splat, and they all disappear in the red mist. That's what I think happens. It's like, I don't even know what a comparative thing would be, because I was going to say, do you ever watch those those videos and stuff of things being totally crushed, you know, on like YouTube and stuff.
Yes, like those big drills. I do like those.
Yeah, I like those as well, but like it's so much quicker than that. Like I think it's instant. I think it's just like everything collapses on each other and everything's gone. Like it's actually making me feel nervous thinking about it. Do you know what I mean?
See, I think we're quite similar in that regard. Like I think about stuff, I imagine what can happen, and then it gives me like a judder. You know,
Oh, I am
awful
I
for
am
that.
the chicken. Like I was on holidays there last week, going over the thing with the an Air India plane happened, and like
You weren't in India, were you?
no, thank God, because I would have had to live there forever. Like I have always been afraid of flying, but like I do it because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that triggered every flying fear I've ever had, and I thought, oh my God, those poor people, because I have such a fear of not crashing in a plane, but I just keep thinking when I'm in a plane, it's so unnatural for this to be floating through the sky. Do you know what I mean? It's so unnatural.
I've never thought about that until now. I'm going on holiday on Sunday. Don't I?
You
So-
enjoy. No, but
Yeah.
that is what I think. I'm like, this is not a natural thing, and I'm not afraid of a crash or anything. I'm afraid of maybe you'll get this because you're afraid of heights too, but I'm afraid of the sensation of falling.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. See, but I've gone the opposite way because I got quite frightened of planes, and then I just kept reinforcing like facts. Like this
Like
is
car crashes,
yeah,
more dangerous.
this is safer. Now there was one time that I was in a plane where the wheel caught fire and landing. We had to stay on it, and it was a wee bit like
I'd never been in a plane ever
it's
again.
a bit uncomfortable. But like I find it's generally all right. Now this is the problem as well. I have with flying. I have to always put on a face that it's super good because Holly is uncomfortable. That she doesn't like the feeling in her wee tummy of like
Horrible.
you know. So
Yeah.
I have to say to her like you're going to be grand, and that she does get quite stressed about it. So I have to be like, you know, even if there's turbulence, you're going, oh Jesus, you have to be like, oh, it's all good. And then in your mind, you're going, oh no.
Like Ross and French. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
No, I just think that really kind of like I just think, oh my God, those poor people. On that video, do you see? Like they weren't even up high or anything.
Yeah.
But if you hit the ground, it's just
But
not-
why is it every time a plane like crash or just
Someone's recording it?
it just but yeah, and it just disappears.
I thought, what was the chance someone was
You know?
recording it?
Yeah.
Because it just goes in. It just goes into a big fireball.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
Plane watchers. That's probably how the
Oh, that's true. Because I did think, how somebody happened to be recording it.
But then the worst thing I really struggle with the internet these days, like and what you see and stuff that is too visible. Like I prefer the day where like there used to be websites back in the day where if you wanted to see awful stuff like rotten.com, you could go on. And then I had been to like I think there's two types of people. There's people that love to see horrific things and people like me that's like, oh I hate it.
Don't want to see it.
Yeah, and like I had friends that'd be like, oh, do you want to see a video of a woman who gets caught in an elevator and her legs get ripped off? I went, you're sweet, keep that, I'm happy. And then I was on Twitter the other day and I saw a clip of some piece of shit, just randomly in an airport in Russia or somewhere, picking up a child and just slamming it on his head and broke its neck.
Oh my.
Like, I was like a 3-year-old, and I was like, why? This has ruined my day. And also, why do people like people like him? He should just be taken away and dealt with. Like there should be no. It's just
I always think people who do that kind of thing, or like people who do things to animals, I just think, well, the same thing should be done to you. I think that's a suitable reaction.
totally.
Whatever you have done,
Mm.
the exact same thing should be done to you.
Yeah.
Which isn't a thing you're supposed to say, but I do think that would sort out a lot of problems, and I think it would stop a lot of people.
But I think it's a lot of problems nowadays. Like people just there's no consequences to any action. You know, even if you break it down in a less severe thing to like torture animals or injuring kids, even to like trying to be a cyberbully, you know, stuff like that. There's no.
Oh my God, I
consequence to
know.
it. So it's like people just kind of think they can do it.
There was this guy you were saying about someone like taking the piss out of your face or whatever. What'd you say?
Yeah, they screenshotted a video or a clip I was in, right? Zoomed in on my head and did like on like a Microsoft Paint drawing of a penis to outline the shape around here and my nose. Now to be fair, I was like, I've never noticed that before, but now I do look like a penis face, and it's
I know, but it's also not fair because if someone works the bank, people aren't making fun of their appearance. Do you know what I mean?
imagine someone went in just like
Imagine say you look like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's kind of not fair that just because your job is in front of people, that people are like, oh, I have free reign. And people are like, well, you put yourself out there. And you're like, no, but it's a job. It's to say someone in a supermarket puts himself out there. You
Yeah.
don't go up to them when they're stacking the shelves and saying, here, to the steady you.
I also don't think a lot of people realize that putting yourself out there It's not easy, and it's not necessarily something you
Oh, totally.
want to do. Like, you probably don't want to have to post clips, or you don't want to have to.
Well,
to do
you're
all
not
that
doing
stuff.
comedy because you want your face to be everywhere.
Yeah.
You're doing comedy because you happen to be funny,
Yeah.
or you like making people laugh. Like, it's not that you're not doing comedy because you actually want to be a supermodel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And actually, if you're a comedian and you're funny, you're probably not a supermodel.
Yeah.
'Cause you're
So,
probably-
yeah.
you probably had to rely on your personality. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was this thing. I hate people got so. Now, obviously, girls get different versions of it. I don't think boys get as much, like, about their appearance and stuff. Girls get way more. But, like, if you're different in any way, like, I get comments about, like, being gay and, like, being all this stuff. I always get comments. And there's this person who was stalking me on TikTok who just kept commenting on every single one of my TikToks, being like, "Oh, look, it's a they them again." And I was like, I've never posted anything like that. It does not to do with any. What are you talking about? And then there was a guy recently, and I think this is just how you should deal with it. There was this guy, and he commented on one of my things, and he was like, "Oh, well, if you weren't," it was something about being autistic, because I post like funny songs or whatever about being autistic. But it's because I do loads of, like, I do like conferences for the autistic community, or I do things to try and, like, make Uyghurs and stuff who are autistic, like, think, oh, there's somebody out there who's autistic and they're doing okay and all this. So I post all this autism content, and this guy commented, and he was like, "You wouldn't have so many problems, like, being autistic," or whatever he said, if you weren't gay. So I was like, oh, so if you're gay, then you're whatever. So I was like,
That's a fact, though, is it not?
exactly. I thought he knows what he's talking about. And then he kept commenting all this other weird stuff that was basically like homophobic, but it was also against anybody who's autistic or anybody who's anything. So I was like, I wonder what kind of person you are. So I was like, he's stupid, because most autistic people are really good at anything to do with computers. I was like, I'll have his bank details in 2 minutes. So I went on and, like, got his profile, found, like, where he worked, found his address, found his wedding photos, found the names of all his children, found everything. I reported him to the guards.
Yeah.
He was in the south. I reported him. He's got a caution from the
Yeah.
guards. And I thought, well, because that's a hate crime.
Yeah.
Because if you say something about somebody that is, you're not allowed to say anything that's about their identity or about their whatever, like, and people will be like, you just have to take these things people say. But I thought, that's somebody's daddy. Like,
Yeah.
what if one of his kids are gay and he's going online bullying a stranger, and, like, he looked like he would be the age of my dad.
Yeah.
I thought, you can't do that. Like, somebody needs to teach those people that you can't just be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, cause why are they doing it? So then I was just sitting in the house being like, he's going to get a visit from the guards, and it's a hate crime now if you put stuff online. His was a hate crime under 2 because it was disability and sexual orientation.
Good. I'll stop it up on.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought if you're big enough to say it, I wouldn't go up and say something to somebody in the street and expect absolutely no repercussions. So I think if you're happy to say something, you should be happy to stand by it.
And, like, usually you can deal with it, but sometimes, like, if you're just having a bad day and something happens, it could really wreck your whole bloody day, and
I know.
drop, and it's like, sometimes, like, you look at people and you sort of go, to me, I just think I have never seen something like disliked and commented on it.
Me neither. Never in a million
I'd be
years.
like, I'll not watch it,
I could watch something and think, this guy is the biggest weirdo or moron or whatever, or I don't agree with him, or wouldn't comment on it. I just
Yeah.
move on with my day. That's nothing to do with me. I'm not his target market. Do you know what I
I
mean?
think those people that do that, you have to go, you're
They're sad.
Yeah.
They're
Totally.
sad. Snap. They are. But the thing is too, like, because, like, they don't think, like, your friends read those things and, like, your family reads them. Like, my wee ma was reading.
Yeah.
She was Googling and going on TikTok to see what I've put up, and then reading the comments, and then she's all annoyed. If someone's taking the hand out of your daughter or taking the hand out of your son, do you know what I mean?
That's funny you mention that, because the two people that get more annoyed about the comments than me would be my mum and my wife.
And Catherine. Yeah.
So the two of them would be like, and I would go, don't worry about it, because then I would my mum would be like, oh, this stuff. And, like, you just have to go, these people are.
But that's because they know you. They're obviously protective of you. But it's like, if they know you as your mum, they're like, that's my son, he's a nice guy, and these people are all saying, like, it is annoying because my mum would get annoyed, but, like, whenever I had a girlfriend for, like, years and years, and, like, one time I was putting up, BBC were putting up videos of me, and this guy took this real thing about me. And actually, at the time, I looked way less boyish because I had long, straight hair. Whereas now, like, people keep calling me lad and all, but that's fine. But he started commenting and was like, "Are you trans? Are you trans? Are you trans?" Like, over and over again. And I was like, what? And this was kind of like a few years ago, before
It's weird.
before the whole trans movement was so widely known by people who weren't actually trans or whatever. And I thought, what the hell is it? And like, my girlfriend at the time got so annoyed because he was just a random. Any videos they put up, he was commenting. This was like he was waiting for them. So she went on his, and like, he was in his picture with him and his daughter, and like, she sent him a message, and she was so annoyed on my behalf
Yeah.
because it was like, this is just a randomer like targeting you for no reason. I wasn't annoyed because I was like, it's not offensive to be trans, therefore
Yeah.
I'm not annoyed. But she was like, but he's trying to offend you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you think it's offensive or not. Like, he is trying to be offensive, and like, he's commenting on every video that's coming up like there's something wrong. So she messaged him.
Mm,
Do you know
did
what
you
I mean?
reply?
I think so. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
I can't ask her because we're not going out anymore. But but like, I think he replied. But I remember at the time, like, she didn't tell me when she messaged him, but she told me after, and I thought, good for you,
Yeah.
because people need to be told why he's up.
But there's a double thought of that too, because when you're a comedian, sometimes you think, oh, I should have a witty retort.
Mm.
But then you don't want to feed them because you don't want to have to.
I know. I
into it, you know?
try and avoid. Like, I try and avoid replying now because I think you're just a waste of space, and I also think, like, if you feed them, like you say, they'll get worse and they'll get worse. But then the only thing is, you're like, comment away. You're making my video show up more people's thing. So you're like, go for it.
The algorithm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, comment all you want. So you
Yeah.
can do it that way. But I think some people are actually psychotic that I just don't want to engage with them.
Yeah.
Like,
There are.
that's it's not all the time. It's not every day. But like, there are some nut jobs out there.
Mhm.
I just think, what are you doing?
Because like I'm aware of that because of my old job. I used to go and visit like antisocial cases
Oh,
and
you're a
stuff.
social worker?
Yeah, well, antisocial behaviour. Thousand off housing executive wasn't I?
I thought you were a social
Or
worker.
social worker, no, antisocial.
Oh,
Yeah.
anti-social.
So like you don't realize when you do that job how many like people now, vulnerable people.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
but also insane people. That,
But
like,
there has to be something
like-
wrong with you to do that.
yeah,
You don't do that because you're happy. And because there's nothing wrong with you. There has to be something wrong with you.
yeah, but like some of that, like I remember one of the ones that again now like I'm trying to like put something together based on that because I think it was such a random funny thing. But there was one day like I got so any reports I get of like bad behavior, I have to call out like to the perpetrator and whatever and try to mediate and whatever else. And there was one day I called out to this woman phoned us quite upset about her neighbour. Said this guy is murdering animals
Oh my God.
in his garden, and I was like, oh my God. So, and I said my daughter's looked at her bedroom window and seen this man kill an animal with a knife. Fuck. So it turns out it was a guy, a Muslim butcher, was just moved in, but he was like
preparing meat for
preparing halal meat, like killing goats in his backyard. He was there with like apron and all on, and I was like, hey, you can't. He's like,
You
oh,
thought he was like a Dexter.
but like, if without a context, he is just killing animals. But I'd be like, you can't use your house for this. Like, you need a premises, so like a butcher's. Or obviously, it's not going to be very sterile and clean anyway. If you're just cutting at throats in the back,
I know, Marissa. Imagine just like killing a pig in your patio.
like I was like,
Somebody eating it.
you can't do that. And he was like, well, I don't think they kill pigs because it's not or it's not in adherence to their laws. They don't eat
Okay,
pork.
well, what
Emer.
meat?
But like goats.
I don't know many halal butchers, to be honest.
But I said to him, and like he came to the
What
door and he was
goats
like,
then? Goat?
yeah, killing the goats. And and he was like, all right, sorry about that. I'm like, yeah. But in his world, he was like, all right.
He's not
done
done anything wrong.
But then I had to pull out like the rules and all to be like, it's actually you're using your premises as a place of business, which is a breach of your tenancy agreement there. So, and also like,
So you were able to solve it like
Mhm.
that. But
then he stopped doing it. But I can't then go back into the mind of that 6-year-old child that looked out her window and witnessed the blood gushing out of the neck of a
oh
goat.
my
into
God, that's
that is
terrifying.
Like, it's terrifying. Yeah.
That is
but-
terrifying.
Taking a step back with the comedy head on, that's hilarious too, because that's really like
Something.
extreme.
Oh my God. But that does show you, like, there's very different explanations for how, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? That's like a perfect example of that.
Of context.
It's like, what? I'm just working.
Yeah.
Just working.
And then I remember went to this other couple who were just like a couple of sort of alcoholics, and they're always like up to something. And I always remember this woman, she was like off her face on something. She always had one eye shut, but she kept calling me angel dust. And I was like, that's
Calling you Angel Dust.
angel dust.
That's
That's
a really good name for you.
That's an angel dust. It's grand door.
Do you know what?
Stop fighting angel
That
dust.
sounds like, see, if you were like
Yeah.
a big gay fair daddy porn star.
Angel dust.
Angel Dust, a perfect name for you. I could call you that for that. Angel Dust Dave.
Yeah, angel dust. It would work.
That's cute.
No,
I think that's cute.
but it was nice though. But I was like, listen, you guys can't be, because what they'd done, they'd started to paint out the front of their house, but they were blocked and fighting, so you can't paint anymore. You was sorry, the angels will still paint over it. So by the time I had left to go back to the office, there was another phone call in. The two of them ended up having a slagging match in the street, throwing paint at each other and fighting. So there was blue paint all over the walls, other people's windows, the ground. I was like, oh, this is just, and these people exist within society behind those who we love it, you know?
Totally. So, same when I was a therapist. Like, well, I was a speech therapist, but I mean, you'd be going out to people's houses and you'd be seeing all different types of people, and people that aren't in your world, and people that you didn't know existed, and people who have like a totally different way of life, and it is unbelievable.
Oh, 'cause I shouted at a couple once, like, and this is before I had kids myself, but went out to their house. They lived in a flat, and they were young people, like, they have this kid. Now, their kid was running about in a shitty nappy, just as you could smell it, but he was playing with a dog. It was like an Akita, a big dog with a pull toy, and he was on a sofa, and the dog was on the ground. It's pulling her, and I was like, do you want to take that? Like, that dog's going to pull him off the thing. And they were like, oh, right, okay. And that was one of the ones.
I didn't even think about that. Like,
I had to go to social services to be like, listen, today, like, not to tout on them, but, you know, I am an Elliott, so I had to do something. I had to, you know, but it was like, they were just completely unaware of the risks.
that's mad, because like, I always think that's crazy. Like, I'm obsessed with dogs. I love dogs so much. I have 2 dogs. One of them is huge. He's my height. He's a poodle, but he's one of the big ones. And then I have a wee tiny white fluffy dog who is a wee shit. I would never. My big dog is training as a autism assisted dog. He's so docile. He's so gentle. Like, kids, pull his ears, pull his tail, jump on him, whatever. He stands there the whole time. He doesn't react. I would never in a million years leave them two alone with it. Never mind a bigger dog who maybe has a bit more of a drive in them to play and all that kind of thing. Like, I just think that's mad.
But some people just had no concept of risk. Do you know? I went in another guy's house who may or may not have been a dealer of drugs. And I was sitting, he was really
40 grams angel dust.
He was a really mouth like, and he was and listening to people put my windows in. I was like, well, you're dealing full drugs and stuff, and that's something. And as I sit and talking to him,
Did you say full drugs?
Like, you're like, yeah, you're doing full drugs. Like,
I've never heard the phrase full drugs.
I don't think it's ever been said.
Did you make it up?
I think I did on the
As
spot.
opposed to half drugs.
Yeah, it's just doing
like,
it. Like,
sorry, Dave, what's full
like
drugs?
full on drugs.
You're like,
you
not
know?
like me who do half drugs. You're doing full drugs.
Like, you're not dealing paracetamol here. When you're dealing
not a wee aspirin, not a wee Feminax.
But actually, he was sitting there, and he's ignorant, playing Xbox, by the way. And
when you were there,
while I was there, but as I was sitting on a sofa beside him, his like like a muscle dog, like a big staffy, you know, with like pecs and all, jumped up beside me and just started licking my face. And
you have a dog?
I have a retriever, but
I thought you do.
Like, he's super sweet, but this guy, and I'm like,
were you shitting yourself with it?
The dude had no ears, you know.
The dog or the man?
The dog, yeah. He had no ears, obviously, you know, when they just have the ears cut off, and he was just there licking my face, and I was like, I can't do anything here in case he decides to just kill me. But I was a bit like, yeah, and I tried to chat this guy and be like, listen, you can't be doing full on drugs. Well, this big muscle dog, she's licking my face with no ears. Maybe it's because I had ears, I don't know. And he's like,
jealous. He was trying to bite them to put them on himself.
But I was like, you have to remain calm around dogs like that, because it'd be a bloody nightmare. But
and it was probably the loveliest dog, but like, he has that kind of dog for a reason, and he doesn't have a chihuahua.
No.
I always think that. I always think, like, I have well soft spot for staffies because I think they're quite beautiful.
Yeah.
I think they're really nice to look at. And like any of my friends who have like staffy or staffy mix, like, they're lovely, lovely dogs. But like, anytime I see, say for example, a guy who has a certain reputation, or as you're saying, you know, deals full drugs, with a dog like that, or my favorite dog, German Shepherd, I'm like, you have those dogs for a reason. Like, you don't have a Jack Russell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're trying to create this kind of fear of you, and that you look scary and all this here, and it's mad. But like, I'm like, wee dogs are worse. The big dogs I always think are so good.
Yeah.
Like, wee dogs are wee shits. Like, a patient's Jack Russell bit me one time, and then I was renting out a camper van, and the first ever people who rented it had this gorgeous wee dog, but it was a wee tiny, tiny dog. And like, she just sat and like nipped at you the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas a big dog, they would never ever do that. I bet you that dog with no ears is probably the loveliest dog
Yeah.
ever. But
Yeah,
he's
he's dead now though. I just would imagine he's either been put down or shot or taken away, or that guy's not giving him a good life, which is sad.
that is very sad.
Yeah. People who abuse animals are the worst.
I think that's the worst thing in the world because they're so
Now-
they're so defenseless.
You enjoyed German Shepherds, you said?
I love them.
I had a friend, right, who he got one,
Uh-huh.
and he said, "Oh, do you want to come round to my house?" Now, he hadn't told me at this point that he had got a new German Shepherd.
Was it a pup or a big
It
dog?
was big, like, it
Ah.
was already. So I went down and I knocked the door, and the dog came to the door and jumped on me and was all nice and this. And he was like, "Oh, thank God." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I just got you to come round to test that, you know, the dog will be all right with people coming." And I was like, "So," and he said, "But you could probably take it, and then you like dogs and stuff." I was like, "Give me a warning that
Do you know
you're
what he'd probably
testing
thought?
the dog not to kill me."
You're a big strong guy.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. But sure, I mean, one
Angel Dust the
bite
bear.
in the thigh. I know.
Yeah.
Angel Dust is a sensitive wee sally.
Exactly, gone. Now there goes the
One
bloody
bite, you're
femoral artery
like,
gone.
You're dead. You're gone. That's actually mental.
And then I was like, "Well, that doesn't fill me full of confidence. Thank you that I am."
He must have been a rescue if he was
Mm.
whatever. But this is the cutest thing ever. Just whenever I celebrate rescue, there was this kid recently, and
A rescue kid.
I work in like I don't work there. My office is like the top floor of a autism clinic, and
Mm.
it's an autism clinic that my best friend set up, and I helped him. Blah blah blah, and it's the
Free rent. Free
well,
rent for
yeah.
it.
well,
Or a good deal.
sometimes.
A good deal.
Good deal,
Yeah.
good deal. So we both work there together, and it's kind of for kids who would traditionally be missed, who haven't been diagnosed or who haven't been noticed in
Like
school or
me.
whatever, like you, kids like you and kids like me. So anyway, this kid one time came in, and I bring Dougal, my poodle, who is the one training to be an assistance dog. Now he's training for me, but he is very good with other kids and stuff. So I bring him to see the other kids, or they come up, but I'd never leave him alone with him. Jeez, but this kid came up and he was all over Dougal. He loved him. And Dougal is huge. I think I showed you pictures of him before. He's massive and he's so fluffy. And kids think he's like a big teddy bear. So he's probably the size of a German Shepherd, but just fluff.
Yeah.
He's so lovely. So docile and everything. And this kid was asking all about him and what age was he and all. I says, well, you know, he's 3. But I said, oh, he's a rescue dog. And this kid said the cutest thing in the world. And he said, my friend's a rescue kid. And I said, oh, what do you mean? But he meant the friend was adopted.
Yeah.
And he was calling him a rescue kid. And I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. Our kid's so innocent.
Yeah.
Like, I
He
just
says,
thought
hopefully, went, "No, what has actually happened there? Is there been something incident that his
he
parents
has been taken off his parents.
are taken, or they have died?" That's
I just thought, oh my God, when he said my friend's a rescue kid, I just thought, oh my God, like, kids are so adorable.
or so, and that's
And he
very-
was right.
Yeah,
Because technically, logically, his friend was a rescue kid.
that's the thing. You have
I
to
might use that phrase from now on.
I think you should.
I don't know if it's PC, Angel Dust, but
Yeah,
I might use
let's
it.
go for it. But this is the thing: like, you don't know if something's PC or not until you set it, and then
It's like you didn't know the dog was going to attack or not until they brought you.
correct. And then sometimes if you say something that's maybe not PC or it causes offense, you have to deal with it. You can't just not say something.
Yeah, like you just have to come up with your own phrases, like
Yeah.
then the
Full
full drugs.
Yeah, full drugs.
I think I'm going to use that.
Yeah,
So half drugs are like, you know, over the counter,
I
or
would-
are they
no,
more like weed?
I would say weed would be. Yeah, I would give weed a half drug.
But a full drug with
Full
you know,
drugs, yeah.
coke.
And friendly drugs would be like paracetamol.
Okay, they can be friendly,
Yeah,
friendly and
drug,
small
full
doses.
drugs.
Full, half, and
Yeah,
negligible.
yeah. And then serious drugs would be the bad stuff.
More than full.
Yes, like serious, full.
I don't
full
even know
serious
what
drugs.
would be more serious than full. I'm not really up on my
No,
drugs.
I've only just made this scale literally right now, so I need to.
I think that it should be. I think we should take it to the police as a pitch
Yeah, what do you think, guys?
and just say, look, if you want to use this system, we will let you have it. But I think they could pay royalties or something.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And anytime anyone says it, they have to pay money.
And then you could see like on the side of like a TransLink bus, be like, if you deal full drugs, we'll
Mhm.
get you. And then
And if
I'll be
you
quick
deal
with it.
half drugs, well, it won't be quite as bad, but there will be a short sentence, maybe probation,
and also there are consequences to dealing half drugs, guys, as well.
which would be what?
That's just what it would say in the van, just so
Oh,
people are aware.
so they know.
Yes, half drugs are
Friendly
serious.
drugs are okay, but you
Yeah.
can only buy 2 packets at a time.
But that's the thing, if you say half drugs are serious, but half drugs aren't serious drugs, and serious drugs are more than full drugs. So
Get them with the language,
yeah,
and then they'll be so confused that they'll say, "Look, no drugs.
and we'll just be
Not even I can't pick a paracetamol from FedEx.
full of no drugs.
No drugs."
Now that being said, I have been dabbling in witchcraft of late.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's this little plant Catherine got that sits at the front door, and she's like, apparently this is like a migraine plant. It's called like lemon something or other.
Lemongrass?
No, it's not lemongrass. Lemongrass is delicious whenever you're making a Thai green
Lemon
curry.
teas?
But it's like a lemon something or other. You know what? I'm gonna look it up because
See?
this
Because I get migraines
some
also.
people and this let me see migraine plant, because
I take
I-
medication for migraine twice a day. I could maybe just get a plant.
You should
I
get
could
this.
just go to B&Q.
plant that stops migraines. It's called feverfew, right?
It's nothing to do with lemon.
And I know.
Did you get the lemon
I think
flavour?
I got like I thought it was like
Elderflower?
lemon. I made an error. It's feverfew. Let's see what the gist of it is. A feverfew plant. So,
So is this like voodoo? Is this like magic?
I don't know, because I didn't agree with it. I didn't believe it. I was like, it doesn't work. But I had a real sore head the last few weeks, probably. Actually, I thought it was to do with like I had a toothache or something. But it was just the last few days, the head was really sore. And then Catherine was like, take one of these leaves. And I ate one of these leaves, and
You ate it?
Yeah, you eat it. It's stinking. It tastes gross. But I chewed it,
You
and it
swallowed it?
was it worked. And I took one today, and I feel great.
I actually thought that it was just its presence in your house stopped migraines.
No, but this is the thing. The feverfew, which is actually called a Tanacetum parthenaeum, is a flowering plant in the daisy family, known for its daisy-like flower. So it's quite cute as well. And traditionally used to alleviate migraines and reduce inflammation, and can be grown from seed or purchased in garden centres. So anyone out there who's got migraines, get the feverfew.
Makes
plant on
sense
board.
because like drugs and stuff come from plants, like,
Mhm.
don't they?
Yeah.
So like that makes sense. This is obviously just instead of giving your money to boots.
Yeah, just get, and then you're only allowed one wee leaf a day, and bingo.
Is that the dose? But it's minging.
It is grocery. Like you
I don't know if I'll be able to get it down.
But you could. It's literally the plants. The leaves about that size. It's so small. Chew it up, and then
Do you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of, do you ever see like that pampas grass? I was thinking of a big
Oh, yeah.
leaf.
No,
I thought I couldn't manage that.
don't even start me on pampas grass. You know what that means nowadays?
What?
Swinging.
No, it's
So-
pineapple.
No, pineapple.
Is that the old
upside
way?
down
The
pineapple?
upside down
Apparently,
pineapple?
if you have lots of pampas grass in your house, you're supposed to be open to swinging.
My entire front garden is a full garden of pampas grass.
Well, there you go. Lee, if you have
And
the
a
strangers
party later.
visiting in the night, yeah.
And the people who lived before me in that house, they planted it, and they told me they were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They had like 5 cats and 2 dogs, and they told me, I was like, oh, what's this front garden about? I've never seen anything like that, because it looked like a jungle of pampas grass. And they were like, oh, that's we had that built for the cats, but maybe they didn't mean cats, maybe they meant
I get it. Yeah.
maybe.
There you go. So maybe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So apparently, so you just have a very welcoming swinging house now. People
Well,
come
do you know
along.
what's actually really offensive? Nobody's called in.
No. Maybe there was something went on with those crazy people before. Not that they're crazy, but if they put the pampas grass
It's actually now feeling
yeah.
like a wee bit. That's affecting my self-esteem, because like it's not like 1 or 2 bits of pampas grass.
Yeah, it's all
It's like 3 times the size of this room, full of pampas grass, and nobody's thought, give that a go.
Maybe try the upside down pineapple in the window as well.
I'll buy a few on the way
Yeah.
home.
That's one thing that we've been watching lately, is a TV show called Open House. The big, it's all about swingers. That's when I started. Oh, it's like a real life
Oh,
thing, and like these couples go to this like hotel, and there are
are they
There are
supposed to
people-
swing for the first time?
Yes.
I've seen an ad for
people
this.
try, and you know what? There was one that was 10 out of 10. Like, it's funny if you like. I'm going to try and do a bit about it because it is funny, but it's if there was this couple, so it was a guy, and he was very much like a Jackal kind of
He's-
guy.
Oh yes, mate, I'm getting
Yeah,
2
so
years.
he was going away like, listen, we wanted, like I said, she's pretty shy. Like, I know I'll be all over it, but I think we want to bring a girl into our relationship and see how it goes.
Did they bring in a guy?
Yeah, so they went in anyway, and they got into the hotel, and she was like, I'm willing to try it for him and stuff, but I think I would like to experiment with women and stuff, but I'm just a bit shy and stuff. And they're like, right, so what they're gonna do? They go down to this like drinks reception, and they're all having a drink and a chat. And she goes off with this lesbian couple, and they're just having a wee chat, and he's chatting this other girl, and he's like, I know. I says, oh, like she's from shy and all this, and then he turns around, she's just getting off with 2 women, and he's like, what? And then the woman's like, oh, she looks all right, and he's like, I'm just, I'm fine. It's probably going to be me doing all the shagging and all, and then she's like, the one of the girls like, do you want to come out to this yurt with us? And then she's like, yeah, sure.
It's a yurt.
So they go off to the yurt, and then they have a threesome, basically. Him and
The girls.
and he's in there just like, I'm just going to go to bed now. So he goes to bed, she comes back, and he's like, oh, so
And she's like, I'm gay.
yeah. So then he was like, oh, so you, like, did you just kiss or whatever? And she was like, no, we just for full freeway. He was like, all right, okay. And then he got really stressed. I was like, the next day, he's like, the next day I need to try to like get a woman to, and then the way they added it was so funny. So the next day he met this woman, and she gave him a massage, and they kissed, and he's like, right, she's up to come
Yeah.
meet him, and we'll do a bit. So he went up the room, and he was like, look, I found this girl, I hope you don't mind, and you know, maybe I'd like to invite her in. And like, he lost all his cocky bravado.
I'm sure he did.
And he's like, I don't know if she was like, yeah. He was like, because before, like, his piece the camera and all, he's like, I don't know if she'll be open to this, because it's different being with a woman and then seeing like a woman with your husband and stuff. I don't know. And then what happened, the woman came to the room, and he was like having a panic attack in the bathroom, and the 2 of them were just getting off with each other, fully naked in the bed. And he was like, I guess I need to try fuck shit. And it was just, she just took it over so much, and she was like, I never thought I'd be into swinging, but I loved it. And he was like,
She's like,
oh,
I
well.
love it. I hate
Yeah.
my boyfriend.
So then she's on the way out straight to home base for a big fucking load of pampas grass that is planted in the front of the bus.
But
But
some of those must be like, I can imagine that. And like, she's like obviously open to the idea. But like, would you not be worried that if I was him, I'd be like, oh my God, like she's actually wanted to try this. She's not
Yeah.
interested in me.
Yeah, because they were together
So-
in school as well, you see. So it's like,
She
yeah.
didn't even know her. See, I don't, like, obviously I'm gay. So I mean, I don't know.
Are you?
I probably haven't mentioned it, but I know I'm very feminine. Angel
Are
does.
you
but-
trans?
Yeah, I'm all of them.
Are you
I'm all of
trans,
them.
Emer? Oh.
Like, it's like,
I'll get you my phone. It's your sister's DM me. No, not again.
it's like, I don't know, like, if a girl has only been with a guy who she's been with since school, I cannot comment on guys,
Mm-hmm.
but I would assume if they then were with a girl, that it would be, but this is maybe just because I'm gay, they'd be, oh, this is lovely. So I don't know then, did that change her mind, or is that what she, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, she was very like into it. You know, it wasn't like it was
She wasn't doing it for him.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the yurt.
No, because like he was actually stressed, like, and I loved it because I didn't like him as a guy at the start. I was like, oh, you're just
Serves you right.
yeah. And then she was just like, yeah, this is fine.
That's great.
And he was
It
so,
was like, this is how it was supposed to be.
but I mean, now that there was another couple who went in, and it was clearly he was like, and she was like, he cheated on me loads and all, and he just wants to, we're trying this to be different. And then the first night, I think he had an orgy with 6 women, where she just went home to bed. And then when he came back and told her, she was obviously really upset. And then they brought a woman in, and they were both happy, and now she's had a baby and all. It's all like
With him?
with him, yeah. So they're like fully. It's a wild world. But
Let's fix it with a baby.
what Catherine said to me, and it's so true. She goes, "Imagine going on this show, right,
Yeah.
and then doing the school run.
I know.
People might have seen the show and be like, well,
But do you see anything happening on the show?
yeah, you can see stuff. Yeah, it's quite graphic.
It's
Of
not
course.
just them kissing.
No, you see full stuff. Like
But how could you do that and do the school run? How could you do that and then be from a wee
and
village to go to
there's
Asda?
night cameras and all, like, you know, like night vision.
Oh my God.
So like the thing went on with 3 women in the yurt. They were like a Catherine wheel of one's head was in one
And what
direction,
episode was that? Was that?
That was it was the first one we actually. That was the one that got us. That would capture the attention straight away. It is a great show.
That was.
Yes.
I might check it out. But it's like, I always thought that. See, when I was younger, see about even like being on Big Brother and all, which is nothing like that. I always thought, how do those people do that? And there's people on that were teachers now. I was like, how do they do that and have their whole life and private life and then go back to their job?
Yeah, and like you see,
Especially if you're doing that, especially if you're having sex with
Like-
people on TV.
and that sort of thing as well. And like being like swinging's probably quite a secretive thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I only found out recently there that apparently there was like a swinging convention went on in an upstairs bar in Bangor. I could believe it. I was like, I would love to know who was there, because I bet you didn't know somebody.
Of course you
And
would.
it'd just be like, wow.
It's not. You can't go anywhere in Northern Ireland without knowing somebody.
Yeah,
You'd probably go in and there'd be loads of people that you'd know.
because there was someone was telling me recently. Who was it? It was I didn't think my mum told me the story. Actually.
Your
I
mum
think-
was
I think-
there?
I think no, not there. But she was telling me a story that there was someone she knew that had arranged to do like a swinging, him and his wife, and they'd arranged this secret meeting, and it was someone from the golf club that they knew. The two of them went together, like, what are you doing
here?
And you're like, sorry again. And I was like, did they do the deed? She was like, well, I think so. But it was
Well,
like,
what do you
oh,
think?
yeah.
Well, we're all here now.
Yeah, well, now there's our secret out. Let's go for it.
We're all here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But actually, like,
It's not. It's something I wouldn't fancy, I would say.
for what reason?
The going back to normal life. Again, I don't think you could be in a normal monogamous relationship if you've done any swinging at all. I think you can go back to what it would be before. And if you did, it would be then. Because then I'd be like, I would just be like, I'm all right with you not doing that swinging. And I'm all right to not swing if that's cool. Like, if you just want to not do that.
If you want to not do it.
And like, see if like Catherine's like, I really want to have sex with her man, I'd be like, I don't think that this will work then, really. Because it's if you'd rather do that.
You'd go mad.
Yeah. And then, because then I just become a cock. I just am sitting and go, all right, this is life now, you know? But
this is how it is.
But then this is what you're saying, like the young ones these days are into all sorts, and I can't keep up.
I know. It's like,
See William Thompson? He blows my mind.
literally.
No, well, the stories he tells me, I'm like, this is a different world.
Really?
Different world. What goes on?
William's not that young, is he? Maybe he is.
Well,
I have no idea.
10 years younger than me. He's 28. So he's Shane Tosbury, goodness me. Speaking of,
He's into it too.
if weird people
Like,
into your
quite-
kids, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I wonder if should no, well, I'll not get him into it because Lord knows what he'll do or say. But yeah, I just can't keep up. I'm the older I get, the more I'm like, maybe I'm like transitioning into like a TUV voter or something. Is that an age thing? Like
Oh, I think it is. But I also think now, like, because it is so different. Like, even on social media and stuff, there's so much now where it's like, oh, we're in a poly couple and we're in the. But like, you never would have saw that before.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have known what that meant till a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know if it's that it didn't exist or it just, like, the language doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Whereas now there's videos all over your timeline, like.
Because I remember we did an awareness course in work once about things you can and can't say and like labels and definitions and stuff, which working for the housing executive was great because obviously we have like old maintenance officers. So there are these things and lines are blown. And like I was very good at like, they're like, can you, there's lots of different names and slurs. And I was like, I know them all. And I was like, and they're like, we didn't
use them all.
And they're like, we didn't even know that was a slur. And I'm like, no, I just came up with it right there now. It's like full drugs. You know, I've come up with that term.
You've written it.
But there was like, I remember like you had to take sort of how you identified and sexually. And I remember like asking the person, I'd be like, there was one of the ones that was men who have sex with men.
Yep. MSM.
Yeah. And I sort of thought, is that not gay? Like a person like, nah. Like, but is that not at its core what gay is? No. And they're like, no, well, it's like
you can have sex with women too.
Yeah, but he's like, you're man. I wasn't married at the time. I was a girlfriend. He's like, yeah, but what if you like the sex with men? I'm like, yeah, but then I still doubts more than just that. You know, like surely. And then I just went, I don't understand, and I just thought, that's fair enough. But I think
that's how they used to put it on like the blood donation forms. You know, because here like gay guys weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I assume bi guys weren't either. Bi guys, sly guys, anybody?
Bi guys, sly. Maybe that's a Patreon thing I should do. Bi guys,
sly guys.
Do, and that's how you do. You just get the people up and you're, is this person bi or are they sly? And they're like, yeah, what constitutes that? Yeah, well, I am in a relationship with a woman and I used to be in a relationship with a man. Oh, so you're a bi guy?
Yeah.
And what about you? Oh, I steal money from my old grandmother who's
and I like having sex with me.
Yeah. You're
bi sly guy. But it's like, I don't know, they used to put that on the forums, but it's because like there are obviously people who are bi or whatever. But like, there are straight guys who call themselves straight guys who sleep with men, and they fall under the men who have sex with men.
But then what happens with the sex with women? There was no bottom part of that, so it could be men who have sex with women and men. They should elaborate.
They should, but I think it's if you sleep with men at all, you're a man who has sex with men.
And it also sounds like a good
a good idea.
Sounds like a good espionage film, The Man Who Has Sex with Men, like a James Bond.
I'm not sure if it sounds like an espionage film or a different type.
Yeah, I mean it could be
starring Angel Dust, sly bi guy.
Because I one of my favorite things ever. I watched this TV show called Porn Crackers years ago, and they had the best porn parody names, and the best one that I thought this is such a great bit of wordplay was Men in Black Men. And I thought that
That's
was
quite
just
good.
a very, because then there's the old classic like Shaving Ryan's Private song, but Men in Black Men, I was like, that's just a glory.
That's quite.
Whoever
That's
came
quite
up with
good.
that in the porn studios, you just to be like
They're like,
handshake,
you've done it.
perfect. And speaking of, what a segue from gay porn to
I'll
production.
tell my mum not to watch this.
Yes, you have a bit of news in terms of your developing
Yes,
show.
my show.
Your show is like,
Yeah.
I actually was trying to get that in earlier when you're talking about Dougal in the
Oh,
the office.
yeah.
I was going to bring that in there, but then we've ended up having to go down the full route of porn. So
Yeah.
now we've segued from porn. It's both entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
So you've got a show in development at Channel 4. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How'd that come to
So,
pass? Tell us all about it.
Basically, well, I think there was I might not explain this all right because I never usually do, but I think there was a commission round with Channel 4. They were putting out, they basically said they're looking for the next big NI sitcom, the next Dare Years is, I think, how they put it.
Well, that's weird because they didn't take William of Ormsdale whenever we put that through as a blap.
That is weird. Don't know what that's about. I'll go trusting you now. So that's what I mean, they must have had funding or something somewhere, so that's what they said they're looking for.
Nice.
So yeah, I haven't done any writing. Like, obviously I've done writing in terms of writing the shows and stuff like that, same as all of us, but I haven't done any actual script writing. And I had kind of been starting to do a few things with a few different producers and stuff, and I had an idea for a sitcom, which is quite easy for me because it's basically just kind of semi-autobiographical based on my life. And it's about, I was saying to you there, I was going out with someone for a long time, so basically the sitcom is kind of a caricature of what happened to me, but with the things that did happen. So I was going out with someone for a long time, had a house, had the whatever, and then I essentially had like a bit of a breakdown and had to go to psychiatry, got diagnosed with OCD and autism.
Did you get any full drugs for it?
Absolutely. Give you some later. And and I then kind of, we had sold our house because we were buying a new house, but our house was gone, and then she broke up with me kind of after these things happened. So then I had no house. I had to move in with my wee brother to his student house in Sandy Row, which was great. And
But you know what? The more you keep going, the more I'm going, I see where this is going. This is sick.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened. So then I got Dougal, my assistant's dog, and I moved into my own house there on my own, living on my own for the first time as an adult, because me and my girlfriend were going out from we were 19, like, and we always lived together, never lived by himself. But it's quite hard for an autistic adult to live by themselves because the skills that you don't have are all domestic, cooking, you know, like all that kind of thing, looking after yourself. You need quite a bit of support. And the kind of sitcom is, I wake up on the floor of my brother's student house after having, you know, the lovely girlfriend, the lovely house, whatever, and everything's just kind of gone to shit. And I wake up with this idiot dog, and it's just going from there.
Yeah.
And seeing how you kind of survive, I guess, as an autistic adult living on your own for the first time. And there's so many things have happened, me living on my own for the first time, and so many things I didn't know what to do, and so much in terms of like getting help from my family and having to go to therapy and having to all this stuff. Like there's a lot of content there, you know. So hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I like it. Sounds like there's a good bit of heart and worth to it as well, which is always something I like at a sitcom, because
That's what I like too.
like I find sort of recently, like I'm trying to put some stuff forward, and then sort of like I look at some of the things, and some things, new sitcoms are really good, and some of them are just like, you go, how does that even?
Exactly, I know.
You know, what's wild. And as you were saying earlier, you don't watch comedy. It's or like comedy. I get it, because sometimes you go, but then that's the thing. Like some of it, like not to harp on about the blaps, but the one blap they made was Rosie Jones's one, which is made into Pushers, and I sort of going, that she doesn't need to blap for that. She's already established. She's massive. She could do that. So I thought, I was more like, that's kind of going against everything the blaps are.
That it's for
To sort of find new and develop new talent. Like, if it wasn't for the blap, I would never have got any experience that I got. And, you know, again, tongue in cheek, it's obviously we'd love to being picked up, but, you know, you look at it and you go, that's...
And it was great. It was great. William of Ormsdale was great. So I don't know how they decide once something's made, what gets picked and what doesn't. Like, do you know what I mean?
But that's the good thing, I think, that I've learned is through it is there's no rationalizing or
There's
making
not.
sense of it. So don't let it beat you up.
Yeah.
Just go right on to the next, or else, try to develop other things, and
There's
be able
definitely
to
not. It's the
pivot.
climate as well at the time, or does someone have something similar to that, or do we have a character that looks like that main character? Like, I think there's no kind of science to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And then with this yourself, obviously I take you play yourself in it.
Yeah.
And the first thing you did there was House of Cotton. Was that your first actual acting role? How did you find that? And do you want to do more acting now? Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, it was weird because like people have asked me like a few times to be in a couple things, and I've always said no because I was like, I don't know how to act. Like, I feel like that is a skill that I have never had and will never have, so I don't want to try. Because like, I remember even at school when you had to do drama and all, like, I'd be mortified. Like, I'd just go sit in the bathroom. Like, I couldn't do it. Like,
Oh, I was like, well, super.
oh no, like I
If I
couldn't.
must.
But I was very shy. Like, I could not do it. But somebody had asked me to audition for that, and I was like, I don't think so. And they were like, well, it's a video audition, like nobody will see it if it doesn't go. And I thought, do you know what, I'll just give it a try. Like, why am I being so anxious or whatever? Just do it. So then I did, and then they gave me the part or whatever. But I mean, I turned up on the first day and I was like, I don't know how to act. Like, I actually don't. So I literally was just myself, but more stupid than I am. Like, that was all I had to do, because the character probably was quite like me. It was a version of me without a brain, basically, you know? So I thought that wasn't too difficult. And actually, I really enjoyed it then. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and like, I saw the value in it when I was doing it, and I saw like, oh, actually, I like this. I really like it. And if I hadn't have done that, I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to put a script forward with me as the main
Yeah.
thing, the main kind of character. But I also don't know how I would have written for someone else to be me. Do you know what I mean? And it's interesting because it's actual Dougal in it as well.
Nice.
So it's going to be him, which is funny. But yeah, it definitely is something that's a bit warm. Like, my comedy is generally kind of a bit more heartfelt and poignant and warm and stuff, because I talk about like having issues or breaking up or whatever. I talk about all that stuff, make it funny. But like at my bigger live shows, like, there are sad songs. Like, there's some of my songs people are in tears, like crying their eyes out. But it's because I think like I don't really like slapstick comedy. I don't really like kind of stupid stuff. I like stuff where there's a bit more to it. Like, I kind of, would prefer something to be more in the style of like Afterlife or something.
Yeah.
Do you know? So yeah, that's kind of more of the vibe that I'm aiming for. Something where it is funny and there are really hilarious parts, but there's a message and there's a bit of heart.
That's what I like to see. So, well, I'm looking forward to seeing it now.
Thank you.
And I've just a couple of questions here for you from the patrons. So if you're over on Patreon, you can get your questions in. Let me see. Oh wow.
Someone gonna ask me about my address for swinging.
In fact, hold on. I'll go for there's a couple of questions here. I'll go for Philippa's first. Philippa says, "Hi guys. I cannot wait to see Emer at the Open House Festival in Bangor. Is there going to be more episodes of House of Cotton? Because I really enjoyed it." So it falls on nicely there. Is there? Do you know? Is there going to be any more? Can you say?
I can't say. We are very hopeful. I can't say. But I think some stuff is developing, some stuff's happening, but I don't know officially, because I am just a small part, because I'm not a writer or anything like that. So
I guess
we're hoping.
Yeah.
Just a member of the cast. So we're hoping.
Star.
It would be good if there was.
Because listen, you have to. If you're part of the team, you're part of the team.
That's true.
I'm a BAFTA winner now, technically.
You are?
Well, I'm actually. I'm not allowed to call myself a BAFTA winner. I call myself star of BAFTA winning. But I like to call myself.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's
I
pretty
call
good.
myself BAFTA
Hopefully,
winner.
I'm hoping there'll be more.
That's good news. And Philippa's, the Open House Festival. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You've done the Courthouse before, haven't you? Yeah.
Oh my god, I think it's one of my favorite places. I just think it's brilliant. And like, see, the Bangor audience is like, I don't know why, they are my perfect audience.
Yeah.
It's like, that just seems to be the audience for me. That kind of slightly more like liberal, like kind of smart audience who are a bit like, I don't know,
I love that because they're my favourite. I always say I'm from Bangor.
Yeah, they have my exact sense of humour.
Yeah, they're the best. And Open House are an unbelievable festival as well.
The Courthouse is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's I love it so much. I really love
Like,
it.
see if anyone's ever doing gigs in the courthouse. Like, it
Mm.
happened with Diona. She was like, "Oh, Sean was supposed to do support and he was sick." And she's like, "Well, Dave, do you call down?" It's like, it's 5 minutes from a house of court. What a treat to just drop in, and I love it. So it is.
It's
an
gorgeous.
open house
The audience are class.
is great.
Bangor audience is different.
And are you going to do another one maybe, do you think? Or if you've one sold out, would you consider it?
I don't know because I'm planning the tour.
Oh, say no more. Say no more. And Philippa says, "I am really sorry for being awkward when I met you in Tesco's last week, Dave. Oh, I was all past myself." Philippa,
Oh,
you weren't awkward at all. I was actually lost in the zone of trying to buy small sandwich bags. So I was like looking, they look like medium, they look like, and then Philippa
wait,
said, "No,
do you want to make small sandwiches?
no, because I have variations of sizes for different jobs, and they have to be very specific sandwich bags to meet my requirements."
I think we could get you tested.
Yeah.
Babe.
Yeah. But like the medium bags, I'm like, that's too much wasted plastic. Anyway, so I got them, and Philip was like, "Oh," and I sort of a wee bit like, "Oh," but I didn't think you were awkward at all, Philip. It was lovely to meet you. And next time you see me, just say hello and we'll chat again. It was a pleasure. And let's see, Stephen has said, "Hi Dave, I hope you're keeping well. Emer, I hope you're well too.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm really enjoying the pod and the extra content recently." Well, thank you very much, Stephen. "I'm organising a stag do in Lisbon in August. Any tips at all? It's my first time organising one and I'm feeling the pressure." You don't
Inviting
know.
us?
I think you could be, but what I will say now, in Lisbon,
While a lot of walking. While a lot of walking in
in
Lisbon.
Lisbon,
A lot of
great
walking.
spot. I had my stag do in Lisbon.
Lisbon?
Yes, and I have to go on, and I have to recommend you do this because there's a guy, Francisco, let me see, and he did, where's the wine? Portugal. He did my like wine tasting.
You did wine tasting?
Wine
in your
tasting,
stag?
but it ended up being
It's very
really good.
civilized.
So let me see. Francisco's Instagram is Portugal Wine Travel, right? So get on to Portugal Wine Travel, or
Sounds good.
and then get on his wine tasting, because we ended up going in, right? And I got given a list of like tasks I had to do in my stag do, and one of them that I found very peculiar was down every glass of wine you're given. And I wouldn't be a massive, like, I like a glass of wine, but it wouldn't be my like sort of party drink.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm not going to be, I'll just avoid wine, obviously.
Yeah.
And when I got there, they brought me wine tasting. So then this Francisco was like very professional and this and that, and he'd hand me a glass and I'd have a sniff and then down. And he was sort of like, after about 3 or 4, he was like,
What the hell are you doing?
"What are you doing?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's part of my thing." And then he loosened up, and then he started drinking wine with us, and we ended up just having a great time. We were singing when we finished the session. He was like, "I'm taking you to my favourite pub. We're going on it." And he was like, I said, "Do you know something else to do this afternoon?" He was like, he said to another member of staff, he goes, "You need to do the afternoon test. I'm going out with the guys here." And I was just, what a guy.
That's class.
And then we went out and we had a great afternoon, singing, dancing, drinking wine. He was just a wonderful man. So check out, yes, go on his Instagram, Portugal Wine Travel, find Francisco and
lovely
to do it. And then after that, like, I recommended him again, and Rachel McPeak, she went over and did the wine tasting with Francisco as well. So big shout out. Tell him I sent you. That's what I recommend you do. It was brilliant. Lisbon, as
Did
you
you have Main Streets?
Oh, it's
Angel does sent you.
So yeah, get Sly Guy 10, get discounted checkout. But he was great crack.
That's
and then
class.
we also did a surfing day. So my best man Phil, he did an unbelievable job in the stag. It was so well organised. But the surfing, we went surfing in the afternoon and then had this really nice restaurant on the beach.
Yeah.
And just all fresh seafood. It was class. Really good. So Lisbon,
I'd like that.
cannot wait to go back to Lisbon someday. And Emma says, just out of Tesco.
Is that all she said?
Yeah. No, I do my grandparents' groceries every week, and the list from week to week is very much the same things. What can you not go without in a weekly shop? Their sweet treats, always a classic Magnum.
I'm not very good because I don't do a weekly shop.
How did you just do it as you go, or?
Yeah, like I'm not a fan of like a grocery store.
Really?
It's too loud for me and there's too much going on. I probably go about once every 6 months when my brother texts me.
Do you do like an online shop?
So I'm just like, no, do you know what I do? I'm a very strong supporter of the Mace around the corner for me. And every Spar, I'm obsessed with Spars. So I kind of just...
You're spending a fortune in there.
I know. But I just go in as and when. See if anybody ever comes to my house. There's nothing. Not one thing.
Well, I am a big believer in home shops. and like home shopping centres, like, you know, in football terms, your home ground, your away ground. I believe like I think it's a man thing that
Where do you go?
I go to Marks and Spencer's, Bloomfields.
That's dearer than Spar.
Yeah, but I do like my bulk shop, Tesco's in Spring Hill.
Right, okay.
And then if I'm going like you're trying to get the fancy bits, you go to Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
Like they do a thing, and I am convinced that my wife and me have kept this on.
Yeah.
They did speckled eggs for Easter, and I think we bought so many of them that they've continued.
They're gorgeous.
They're unbelievable.
They're so nice. I love them. Oh my God. Has Easter passed?
But if you go to Bloomfields, Marks and Spencer's,
get
Bangor, they're still there.
I'll need it. Do you know actually?
£3 a packet.
Do you know whenever I was on my way here today, I had this address in, but I had it in for Bangor. So
Oh wow! You didn't go to Bangor, did you?
I was on my way to
Huh.
Bangor, and then I was like, I went past the sign for Hollywood. I thought that sounds kind of familiar,
Yeah.
and I stopped to put my. I was nearly late.
That's why you were a couple of minutes late.
I was
Got
late
away
because
with
I
that.
failed MOT this morning,
Dear.
and I had to say to my brother, "Can I borrow your car because I have to go to Bangor to be on Dave's podcast?" And he was like, "Yes, but my car is in town." So my friend's husband had to come. There was a whole hassle.
It's a real. I'm sorry, it's a real handling for you to come do this. So I hope you guys
Yeah,
appreciate it.
So my friend's husband had to come and pick me up and leave me the town to get my brother's car. I had to drive to my brother's work because he's going to the gym after work. And in case I'm not back in time, he needs his gym bag
Okay.
or he could not cope. So I had to give him his gym bag. And then I had to drive to Bangor and then realise that I wasn't going to Bangor and come back and come here. So I was 11 minutes late, which is actually quite good for me.
Because what I
And I had an MOT in
yeah,
that time.
that's good. I was able to get in, get all the lights set up, get in, relax. They were even got you a bottle of water, which you just chose not to drink.
I thought that was yours.
No, mine's there.
I was thinking, oh my God, he's so rude. He's got himself a bottle. No, I'm not taking a drink of it now.
I think go for it. And that's the perfect time because we come to the end of the episode. Emer, do you have anything? Are you going to be maybe on tour soon? Do you maybe
Yeah.
where can people follow you if they want to keep up to date on things?
I'm on everything. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all that. Just Emer Maguire, EME.
And do you have a website with an email list or anything?
Oh, I have a website. Yeah, with an email list. So it's just emermaguire.com.
There you go. So Emer, this has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming. I feel like we've sort of not really crossed paths so much, but since we did that gig for Action Mental Health,
I met you very recently.
like straight away I was like,
I met you once in W5.
yep. And then that was very funny. That was the first time I was like, I definitely get that you're autistic now. Because the first time I met you, I was like, oh, I think we met before. You went, nope, this is the first time.
I've no recognition
Okay, that's
faces whatsoever.
Nope, this is the first time. I'm like, yeah.
I was talking to a man in the shop yesterday, like he was like the shop assistant, like helping me choose runners. And then I said, oh, I'll be back in 2 minutes. And then I came back over and I started this full-on conversation with this guy. And I said, you know those runners that you got me? I tried them in different colour and blah, blah, blah. And he was like...
I'm not the guy.
Yeah. And
See, I'm the reverse of that.
Oh, no, I've no... Like
I'll see someone and it'll be in my head and I'll go, where? And I'll go, that's right, he used to work in the Nando's at the Boucher Road. That's where I know him from.
I do not have those skills. It's like, it is such an autism thing. It's like a prosopagnosia where you cannot recognise faces.
Well, I don't know what the opposite of it is, where you'll always remember a face. It's a creepy thing.
Psychosis.
Either way. But Emer, it's been a
It's
pleasure.
been great. Thanks so much.
And listen, we'll do it again.
100%.
Keep an eye out. Follow Emer if you don't already. And thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And don't do real drugs.
Don't do full drugs.
Full drugs.
Full.
Do
half.
friendly.
Friendly.
No friendly drugs.
Friendly drugs. Paracetamol. 2 packs at a time. Limit.
I'm the sly guy.